First, let's just get this out of the way. This huge, massive medal does not mean I won anything at this race. This is a finisher's medal. I finished the race, and I'm very proud of that, but I certainly did not win anything. Here at Flute Tube, I've already mentioned several times that it's very important to do regular cardiovascular exercise. Get your heart rate up, get your lungs working more efficiently, and today I want to show you that I do put my money where my mouth is. Mostly I'm a runner. I'm not a very good one, or fast one I should say, but I do run regularly and I enjoy it. It's great for my mental health, physical health, and definitely also my flute playing. So if you learn anything from me about physical fitness, it will not be really how to run better or faster or anything. It will simply be to learn that you really should do it. Last New Year's Eve, as a New Year's goal, I agreed with some friends to go to Moab and do this half marathon. I knew it was a huge commitment of time, also a commitment of money, because you do have to pay $155 for the race, somehow get to Moab, get a hotel, all those things. And of course the time for the race is mostly training. You have to commit a lot of time to running in your life if you're going to do a half marathon, at least I do. But I also know from 21 years of teaching at a university school of music that January, February, March are the hardest months for me to stay in shape, to keep committed to doing exercise, because it's the busiest time of the year. I tend to get very fatigued just with my life in general, and it's really hard for me to set time aside to stay active. The best way for me to do it is to commit to a big project like this, and in fact this is the third time I've done this Moab Half Marathon for this very reason. My goal here is to tell you about my experiences getting ready for the race and doing the race, and hopefully making it sound super fun and glamorous so that you'll all want to do something similar. Perhaps running a half marathon or a race, or doing some other big project. If you watch this video and it does make it sound fun, give it a like. Or if you watch the video and you think, wow, that sounds kind of miserable, how pathetic that that's what she does for fun, maybe give this video a pity like. Like, it's too bad that that's how you have to get enjoyment out of life. Perhaps you could even consider giving my channel a pity subscribe. But let's see just how fun and glamorous I can make it all sound. For you, as well as for me, I kept a log of my training and how things were going. I mapped out how I wanted to train after the new year, and I did not do as well as I hoped. But still, the fact that I had this big goal to run the half marathon did help me to stay on track a lot better through January, February, and March than I otherwise would have. I basically did okay with preparing. I ended up averaging about 4 days of running per week. I meant to do more like 6, but I did a good amount of cross training. So I rode my bike a lot. I walked a lot, and especially up the big steep hill behind my house, so that's really good exercise. The first month of training, I lost 1 pound. Then I didn't lose any more weight. So this is not a remarkable story of weight loss, but I know I gained a lot of strength and muscle, so I'm looking forward to losing all that muscle and at the same time losing weight in the spring. Yes! But of course, really, I'm going to try to hold on to the strength that I gained. I did lose about 2 inches around my waist between January and March, so that's something I'm really happy about. Whenever the weeks went by and I did not do as well as I hoped that I would, I thought about you, the Flute Tube viewers, and I thought, oh, they don't even have any idea what I'm doing. The pressure's off. I can disappoint them and they'll never even know. That's perfect. My first, what I would call long run, was 6 miles. It was the weekend of January 15th, and it took me 88 minutes to go 6 miles. The surprise this week was that the next night I ate some frozen pizza, and I intended to eat 1/3 of the frozen pizza, but I was starving. I kept eating and I ate the whole thing. Oops. So my pace for this first kind of long run was 14 minutes and 40 seconds. The following weekend of January 22nd, I did 7 miles, and that took me 102 minutes. These long runs, I'm just trying to get my distance up. The shorter runs, my pace did get better and better, very predictably. And the funny thing at the end of this long run was that I was jogging very slowly towards my house, and this older gentleman pulled up in a van, and he rolled down the window and he said, "Be careful, be sure you don't break any speed limits." I did think it was funny. I had a little laugh along with him because I was going very slowly at that point. I was just trying to finish getting in my 7 miles. January 29th weekend, I did 8 miles. This started to feel really long and hard when I got back. I was just telling myself, there's no rush. I will manage to get cleaned up. Then I will manage to go get myself some food. One thing at a time. I was moving very slowly, and that 8 miles took me 128 minutes. That is a 16-minute per mile pace. Not impressive at all, but I was increasing my distance. I had a COVID scare the next weekend of February 5th. I had to be tested that Friday. I decided not to run that weekend in case I was sick, and I also felt very tired and very sore. So I really think it honestly was good for my body to have a break that weekend after the running I'd been doing. I did not have COVID as it turned out, but I didn't want to use up my own energy or expose other people to it if I did end up having COVID. February 12th weekend, I ran 8 miles again, and I hoped for a huge improvement over my last time. I really did not get the huge improvement, but it was noticeably better. I got it down to 124 minutes. February 19th weekend, I had some time restrictions. I wanted to do a 9-mile run, but I just could not fit it in. But I was pretty determined to get my time better because I had to run a shorter distance than I wanted. I did 7.5 miles in 107 minutes. So again, that pace was at least noticeably better. It was 14 minutes, 15 seconds. February 26th weekend, I did manage my 9-mile run. And again, this run gave me some hope because it took me 128 minutes to go that distance. The March 5th weekend, I had another unexpected hiccup in my schedule. I could not get a long run in. I had to go on shorter runs. But my short run times were getting better. I was down to about 13-minute miles. Then I started to realize that Wednesday, March 10th would be my last chance for a big long run. So I hoped to go 12 miles, but again with time restraints, I only went 10.5. It took me 157 minutes to go that distance. I was glad to get that extra distance in before the race was going to roll around. That was important to do because March 12th through 19th was my taper week, where I only went on short runs. I tapered off my activity in advance of the race to get myself ready for it. The race was March 20th, and they have not published race results yet. And I did not do a really scientific stopwatch thing, but my best guess is that the race took me 2 hours and 48 minutes. My pace was very much improved. It was about 12-minute, 50-second miles. We'll see when the race results come out. The adrenaline helped. Running along the path with other people, just kind of merging into this herd with a lot of fast people who help to push you along and go faster yourself always helps. Being handed water and Gatorade every couple of miles. Also just eating right before the race. I did do carb loading the night before, so I had a lot of good energy. And knowing how to best prepare for the race, the more you do, the better you get. This chart of my sort of weekly longest runs and my pace per mile on those is not very impressive, but my point is that I do legitimately work on this for my own health and mental well-being, and of course for my flute playing, even during the most horribly busy time of the school year. I'm always so glad when I push through and exercise well during those months, because it means I'll do even better and feel even better during the spring and summer months as well. I always love picking up my race packet, maybe a little too much, but this shirt is awesome. This multi-use mask, scarf, head, bandana thing is really cool. Plus, wait till you see the socks. I have to say, these are some pretty cute socks that came in our running bag. Considering the price of the race, it's a good thing I like the gear that came in the race packet. If you are a flutist, I will say that every flutist should want to do this half marathon race in Moab, because if Moab had a mascot, that mascot would have to be Kokopelli. Kokopelli is everywhere. And if you're a flutist and you don't know who Kokopelli is, you must look him up. I saw him everywhere. I saw bands of Kokopellis. I saw him in storefronts. I saw so many little Kokopellis available for purchase. I even believe that I saw Kokopelli riding a bike. He'd temporarily put down his flute for a minute. Moab is also just a beautiful place to be. I went for a walk around the town the night before and enjoyed the weather. It was perfect weather for a race. The low temperature the night before the race was 50 degrees Fahrenheit, and it was such beautiful running weather going up and down the canyon alongside the Colorado River. It was just a great day. The construction obviously isn't great, but I love Moab. I'm walking to the race. I'm showing you a few scenes from the race so you can all wish that you had been there running along with me. Race is over and I'm going to hang out with some friends. I stayed in a really cheap hotel, but I have some friends staying at the Hyatt and I'm gonna go hang out at their pool. Yay! I got a good nap this afternoon. This will be a great evening. To those friends who did come to Moab with me, Carl and Mindy, Jake and Jamie, Jeff and Tracy, and all their families, thank you so much for meeting up with me in Moab. All the race encouragement, they really helped me stay better on track with training and eating and all those things before the race. Having friends involved did make me feel a lot more like I had to keep on training so as not to disgrace myself too badly. But after the race, we had a great long talk around the outdoor fireplace. It was pretty much a perfect day. Between running the race along the Colorado River in the red rock of Moab, taking a most excellent post-race nap, and meeting up with friends at the end of the day, this past March 20th, the first day of spring, was as close to perfect as it gets. It has to mean nothing but good for the year ahead. And now you should all really want to go for a run. And after you run or bike or swim or whatever it is you do, then take a nice break and then go practice.